LCTV. Larry Seidlinger, would you like to step up?
Just a hot seat right here.
You can
You
either
can?
sit or you can use the podium, whichever
Use
works
the podium.
better for you. And I'll just move the microphone.
Just a heads up. Just a heads up, Larry. You got about 15 minutes. We got a busy schedule tonight.
No problem. How's this work?
It's just so
Just
you can,
recording for TV,
Yeah.
right? Okay. As Edmund said, I'm Larry Seidling, Executive Director of LCTV and also President of the Board. Billy, if you pass those around, I'd appreciate it. I don't know if everybody had the paperwork that I forwarded through to Julie and some of the selectmen, but also pass some of these around as far as.
they were given to them tonight on their chairs.
Okay, I will pass those around. I didn't realize how many people were here, so I apologize. LCTV is here tonight requesting $5,000 addition to our budget from what we got last year from Waldeboro. We mainly would like to have that to replace the tax dollars that Medina Valley High School paid us to film and record their wrestling, cheering, and basketball games this year, which you'll see in that printout that I just handed there, page 2 or 3, of how many games we did out to Medina Valley this year, and how many people we had watching. Nearly 20,000 people tuned into the Medina Valley games this year, which is pretty significant over last year's increase. Also on that form, you'll see that how many town meetings we showed, and budget committee meetings, and other things we filmed in the Waldeboro area this past year. I'm open to questions. If anybody would like to, like Catherine said, you got short time, so is there anything I can enlighten you with what we have, our budget? I sent the financials through. Hope you all got them, got a chance to look at them. Any questions, don't be afraid to ask. Budget was nearly $200,000 in 2021. And we expect it to be pretty near the same this year. We have some equipment that needs to be replaced. We're doing some grant writing right at the moment. And we've been doing some fundraising. So hopefully we can replace that server that is on its past its life expectancy right now, that runs the whole system. So,
This shows here you did almost 3,100 hours
broadcasting,
for Waldeboro.
somewhere in that, whatever the analytics
That's
say.
3,099.
Yeah.
No,
It's a significant number.
yeah, compared to everybody else, we dominate the whole thing. So,
Well, a lot of that was out in Medina Valley.
okay.
And we also did the junior high program this year, which was a new one for them, and we had pretty good response to it.
Yeah, I see that. Does anybody on the board get any questions?
So you're not getting funding from the school this year, or?
Yes, we did charge the school. We had sponsors, we also advertising sponsors to defray some of the costs. And then we charged the schools $150 for every night that we were out there, not per game, but every night. Some nights we were there as much as 6 hours for all 3 games. So those are tax dollars. In my eyes, I believe those are tax dollars. And what we're asking for is we can supplement franchise fees for tax dollars that will save the taxpayers some money.
Did you, were you able to involve the students at all in the process of filming the games?
We tried, but we did not have any luck. We actually had a youth program started, and then COVID came on again hard last fall, and it kind of disbanded. It was challenging, at least, to get students involved. It's not that we haven't made the offer, Bob. We have with both Mrs. Pease at Medina Valley and Mr. Burrows at Lincoln Capital. They both excited about the idea, but when the rubber meets the road, it hasn't happened yet.
Is it? How many have been over here on the board that's been over there? I know Colonel has. I have,
Over where?
over to LCTV.
Oh. I've seen them at the game.
But you haven't been over to their office. It's come a long ways from the last time I was in there.
Been open for a long time, so I imagine I would.
I invite anybody to come business. Just give me a holler, make sure I'm gonna be there, but we're there, somebody's usually there from 6:30 in the morning until 3:30 in the afternoon.
It's the same location, right?
So, yes, on Sheepskin, Hollywood Sheepskin Road. are writing a few grants right now, we're in the process. None of them have been submitted yet. We got turned down for one grant that I applied for last year. So I'm not a professional grant writer by any means. So this year I have some talented people writing grants. I'm very hopeful that we'll find some.
So you're asking for 12,000.
That's correct.
Okay, and tell me again the reason for the increase. Is it high school?
Well, there's a lot of reasons, Jan. I mean, our budget has increased from when I took over 2 years ago to almost double. We also have 5 people involved in making LCT work now. We have a part-time tech guy, we have a part-time marketing person, we have a full-time videographer, we have a part-time videographer, and then myself is full-time. We also are covering a lot more. We're doing a lot more production work. We put out 5 to 6 programs every single week in the studio, plus we're on the road. We do all the towns that ask us. We do Damascus, Newcastle, Waldeboro, Bremen, all the town meetings are put up on our channel for people to see. If we don't know if anybody's watching until we miss one, and then we usually hear it the next day. So our area, our responsibilities are increasing with Lincoln Health is asking us to do more and more all the time. We do more at the YMCA. We've tried to do more with businesses in Waldeboro here, and we haven't had a lot of luck getting people to reciprocate, but the door is still open and my phone is always on. We'd love to do more.
Back in the day when I was advertising, the big thing was always the demographic. And companies invariably have figures and numbers of the demographics they serve. I'm kind of missing that. You got a lot of great information on the high school games. I mean, that's really good, but I'm missing the rest of it.
We have a hard time, Bob, to be honest with you, because Spectrum, I asked Spectrum several times, claim that's proprietary information. Julie has more luck, probably as a town manager, getting information out of Spectrum than I do. They look at me as just like another customer, and it's just difficult. I did convince the cable company to include South Bristol as part of the LCTV network, and that just went through about a month ago. Because they were always part of Booth Bay for some reason. I can't tell you why, but for years they were part of the Booth Bay cable network, but now they are on on the LCTV network. And we're looking, there's a request from Jefferson is looking at maybe being part of the LCTV network too. So that will increase our viewership, but we can't get accurate numbers. We kind of have to guesstimate with what they tell the town, or what they give the towns for figures every year, how many subscribers they have, and guesstimate from there what the total number of people is. But as far as demographics of who's watching it, we don't have any way to find that out.
Thank you.
It's not that we have, it's not for lack of effort. It's right that way. Yeah.
Your funding comes from, just from the towns within the LC.
Our budget was $200,000 last year, which we got $40,000 franchise fees in towns. We got $60,000 in donations, and we got about a little less than $100,000 in production work that we did for everybody, between advertising and sponsorships. We did cheerleading shows when COVID shut down the cheerleading championships last year. We did one for the Athletic Center over here in Warren. We did the KVAC championships, and we did the Southern Maine Athletic Championships for cheering, which was, there was 20,000 people check those out. So that was all production work. We do a show for Midcoast Conservancy that's production work that's on every so often. They've just finished up a 6-part series. At their pleasure, we do that. We're working on a 6-part series that's going to be announced here later this spring that will deal with climate change, and that's about all I can say right now because of people involved. I think people will be pretty pleased with what they see in that.
What Larry's requesting is a little larger part than what is received in the town for fees. So it's not taxpayer money per se. I mean, in another way it could be, but you know, this is what comes from fees.
That's what we've always used as franchise fees to pay this.
So
Or
the franchise fees always just go into
the general.
the general budget. They've never been earmarked.
Okay.
They've always been in the general budget as general revenue.
Same.
Do you get a certain fee for every game you,
Excuse me?
do you get a certain fee from every school for every game that you record? Is there a set fee or?
We actually, it's not a set fee. We negotiate a fee with Lincoln Academy. We can negotiate a fee with Madomic Valley. And we do it two different ways. Madomic Valley, we go out and sell the sponsorships and build the advertising. Lincoln Academy does their own advertising and they pay us to build the sponsorships. They pay us so much a game and that's it. And they have their own announcers. We just do the technical work and the camera work for Lincoln Academy. Madomic, we do it all.
Is it conceivable that the advertising monies raised by, for example, Lincoln Academy covers the fees that you charge them?
I can't tell you exactly what they charge their advertisers. I don't have that information. I surmise it probably did, but I don't really have any way to know.
Good question, Bob. So it wouldn't actually come out of their budget if their fees were paid for by advertisers. Does anybody else got any questions for Larry?
I'm at 14 and a half minutes, Ab.
Yeah, I know, that's what I was asking. As you've probably seen, I keep it on a
Tight
tight
schedule.
schedule.
When you get in Augusta, I hope you do the same
Yeah,
thing.
I hope so, yeah. Easier said than done. Val?
So what is the current franchise fee take for Waldeboro this year?
It's like 30, 32.
$32.
It's in your budget book, in the revenue section of the select board.
Oh, it's in the select board, okay, I was looking for
Yeah,
it.
because
But it's 32, right?
for the revenue.
Okay.
And then to cut the, what Larry's saying, LCTV is part of the expenses under the community service agencies, which is Department 640. Expense side, page 30. Usually around 32,000 revenue that's received.
So there'd be this column.
It's $32,093.07. But again, just so everybody's clear, that would come out of revenue. So technically, you're increasing your expenses. So it is tax dollars over here too. No matter whether the school pays or we pay, it's all tax dollars. It's all coming out of the same.
And the school's not paying this year?
This coming year, we have negotiated this coming year. They paid this past.
This past winter. they did.
Right. I have no way of knowing this year.
Val?
Is the 32,000, is that close to 5% of the table revenues? That would be the maximum of the franchise.
I would have to look, to be honest with you, I did not look at our agreement before I came into the meeting, but it's whatever the percentage we agreed to in our franchise agreement, that's what that represents.
How long an agreement is this? For 5 years or every year? Or how does it work?
I would have to go pull the agreement, Val, but I don't remember. But it's not a year-to-year agreement. I will look it up, though. I will try to answer that quickly.
Go ahead, Bob.
I know what time is close. There are certain towns listed that don't pay franchise.
That's correct.
There's no reason for that. They just don't
The only
want to.
one you-
Get them to pay.
The one you referred to, I assume is Wiscasset.
No, I'm talking about Noblesboro, Dresden, Edgecombe. They don't-
Noblesboro and Edgecombe. You got the budget sheet, you've got the
I
sheet.
got the sheet you sent to me, yeah.
There's one there that has the towns listed. Noblesboro and Alma both contribute. They may not contribute. Oh, they haven't contributed yet this year in 2022.
Oh, that's why there's nothing.
That's correct, yes.
Oh, sorry.
But Wiscasset is the one town that does not contribute, that has substantial, they stopped doing business with LCTV in 2015. I've been invited to their budget meeting for the first time since I've been involved with LCTV, and they have indicated that they're going to do something this year. We've done a lot of shows over there. Done a lot of work with them.
Thank you.
I apologize, there's a little bit misleading there. We haven't funded yet with no borough. Alna gave us the okay the other day that they approved $1,300 out of $1,800 for franchise fees.
Thank you.
We all set? Somebody like to make a motion on the floor? Forward?
Isn't this part of the community services?
It is, this is the, it is. It's a bigger piece, yeah.
So you just want to vote on the whole thing all at once?
We want to vote on this whole thing next
Okay, all right,
Thursday
that's
after
fine.
we've heard.
Yeah, I just know where it was an increase that you might want to vote on that separately.
Right.
That's whatever everybody wants to do. Everything else, I believe.
We won't do from the Waldo until.
Okay. Cool. Well, I guess you are all set, Larry.
Dismissed, thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for your time.
Larry.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, next, the library.
I don't have a whole lot that's different. We're asking for the same amount. I do want to start off though by saying thank you very much for restoring our funding in July so we can go back to our normal schedule. And our patrons really appreciate that. And so I'm just requesting the 75,000 that we've been receiving since 2017. The trustees have always tried to only get half of our funding from the town, and they're trying to hold to that. And trying to increase, the prices are going up, as we know, but they're trying to increase fundraising on their end. So while we're not asking for any more, I just implore you to not cut this at all, because we need every penny of this 75,000. But I don't have really anything else to add unless you have some questions.
Does anybody have any questions from the board?
Full disclosure.
Yep.
I'm on the finance committee.
How about the budget committee? Is that everything? All right. We will move along.
Okay.
It's the best bang for your buck.
Yep.
In town, actually.
Val, I do have an answer. It's a 10-year,
That's what I thought it was.
it's 10 years. That's what I thought it was too, but I don't like to say it unless I know it. And we signed it in 2020.
Is it flat for 10 years or is it a percentage?
I'm trying to find what you need.
That should be a walk-up music.
I know.
Perfect
timing.
Do you want to continue on general community services, like the Memorial Day Committee? We still want to give them $1,000. We all set with that?
Yes, because that's for the flags.
Okay. Is everyone all set with that? And we'll vote on the total at the end. Waldeboro Snow Crawl is the same as last year, $604.
Oh, I remember this.
It's based on the
But it's
number,
odd.
Probably the registration.
based on the
Right?
Is it?
registration.
Well, that hasn't changed, has it?
It's close.
Now, we didn't ask the Historical Society to come in, so we all,
We have one right there.
Yep.
They sent a letter.
okay, yeah.
Send a lot.
Is everybody all set with that? I don't see. Now, the Waldo will be in, correct?
Waldo will be in next Thursday. She would have come this evening, but she's visiting her mother.
Okay. I think that's it on that, isn't it? All right. Public Works, the Johnny Daigle,
The Johnny
front and
Daigle.
center.
Do you want to stand up, John, or do you want to sit? That is not what I was saying at all.
Um, 28.
Mine is a little bit more than 75,000.
Page 28.
So
Welcome, John Day.
explain,
Um,
explain
so-
your budget. Go down through it. Tell us all the increases that,
So, as you know, John, the select board negotiates the contract, so John's not involved with the payroll aspect of it, but if you'd like to address your operating budget.
Not a problem. It's pretty much the same as last year. The only increases are fuel, cost, salt, and cutting edges, the biggest increases. That's about it. Yeah, if we don't use the material, spend the money in the winter, we do turn it back. So this one, we do most of our material, especially that salt. Basically, that's what it is. It won't go down through every one of them.
no, I'm sure people have certain questions about certain things.
You said you used most of your salt,
Yeah.
but is it at 49%?
Mhm.
Is this,
That's not up to
it's not up to date?
Yeah, this was back in February. so-
Last couple weeks, we had some snow, I guess.
Did you experience any of the issues other towns in the newspaper experienced with their salt where it was ordered and then
Delayed.
delayed?
No, we contracted out early. Contract out full amount. That way there, they set aside. And leave 1,100 tons for us. Some towns only order 100 tons at a time. So they're not on contract.
Your assistant makes sure that's ordered
Yep.
right away.
That is different too, though, this year. Get that. We have gone up to 9 people. With 8. We've gone up to 9. Ended up hiring Will Pratt. The reason being, I will be retiring soon. We will be training. And that's what Will is. Right now. There's quite a bit to it. If you look at all the budgets that I maintain, the buildings, $120 million worth of roads that we take care of, have to oversee, it is quite a bit.
120 miles of road, right?
No. We have to turn around and tell the state of Maine how much our roads were.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and buildings. So budget wise, I'm managing almost $3 million a year. This transfer station, the public works, the capital, paving, everything else. And overseeing almost $3 million worth of buildings that we have. So it's quite a bit. Time to change it, so we need somebody younger.
Does anybody get any questions? Jan?
I'm just curious
Yeah.
on, under vehicle maintenance, you put R and M. That went up quite a bit. What is that?
Well, you turn around our vehicle maintenance, we recently bought 5 new trucks. The maintenance for them, I maintain 72 tires. Okay, that's how many? Our tires are costing anywhere from $500 to $1,500.
It's because you have more vehicles to maintain.
No.
No.
It's because the new vehicles take different filters. Our trucks, got some, take 5 gallons. We got some take 6 or 7. Where ambulance takes quarts. Air filters, new truck, car filters, $20.
We also went to wheelers versus single, so that's 4 extra tires.
That's
you have-
extra tires. I bought tires for the first wheeler, and that was a little bit over $7,000.
So that's, how many new wheelers do we buy? 2?
We've got 2.
So, you get 8 extra tires at how much a piece?
Then once there was 700.
So it's 5,600 just,
And that also includes the gasoline and diesel fuel increase.
Yeah.
in that figure. Anybody else got any more questions? Bob?
I'm concerned about the fuel number you put down. Still concerned. Are you comfortable with it, John?
Well, the thing is, Bob, and I don't know, you've been around here quite a while. You should remember back years ago, we put another part to the budget where we was anticipating increases. We added $30,000 at that time in case any department needed the fuel, cover the fuel costs. I think it's the almost good way to do it now. It worked out good that year. We didn't end up spending it
Do you remember what year that was?
a long time ago. I can look at that.
We talked about that the other night, closer to when the budget's done, to get a better
It-
idea, just
yeah.
put in a single line item.
Yeah,
that-
that's what happened. And it wasn't within the particular department.
That's why I was asking.
It was.
So you're not against that? You think?
No, I think we'd have to do that way this year.
But it should be an overall, not just one department.
Right, it was overall, it is scary. I've talked to a couple paving companies already. They're anticipating $10 a ton increase. That's way that. That's it right now. Fuel costs and car oil prices go up off the rail car. It'll be more than that.
Are you talking blacktop? Yeah. Where does that come from? Where do you get that?
Blacktop goes out to bid. You have different people bidding on it.
Okay.
A lot of it comes out of the Washington plants.
Do they deliver to you?
Do you see, and this is kind of a capital discussion, but since you brought it up, do you see any value in waiting a year? And we might get infrastructure money from the federal government that we could do a bigger project.
That would be better for us. It'd be cheaper for us. The reason being, the more tonnage we put on a contract, it's a lot cheaper.
What do you have in here for paving this year?
There's 500,000 altogether. So that's gonna end up being the gap.
That's gonna be in the capital.
It's
We
in
can
the
talk to
cap-
that.
cap.
Okay, well, I just curious if we just, if you want us to hold off till next year possibly,
I think we have to.
and maybe prices will come back down a little bit.
I think we have to wait. I think at $10 a ton extra, it's gonna hurt us. We can't absorb it. But if it goes more than that. we think it will wait.
But we should still budget for it this year. That's,
Yeah.
but we just,
Right.
and I think there's some, we don't know what kind of infrastructure money is gonna filter down to us. So I think, that, and then you can add that in with infrastructure money and you can have a much larger project. So your goal would be to get those roads that you wanna do ready this summer.
Yes, we had most of them ready. Caston Road, Simon Road's done, Chapel Road's done. Caston Road isn't done. We still have the trees to cut and culverts to replace. I couldn't get culverts this past summer. Nobody could. So we stopped working on that road and we went up to the Reef Road and cut all the trees back. 'Cause that was gonna be bad. If I can get the culverts this summer. That's what I'd like to do. But we can't get them. I could get 24 footers and, 24 inch, but we need 15.
Did you have any other supply issues this past year,
Supply issue.
other than the culverts?
We was gonna have supply issue with cut edges if I waited too long. That's why I ordered them early. And that's basically the only issue that we really had. We like to buy, our motor oil, hydraulics and all.
You buy barrels.
They deliver, pump it in the tanks.
So you do your own maintenance?
Yes. Yeah, if we did, it would cost you $1,000 to try.
Done forever.
And equipment, be even more than that. Yeah, we do everything. The only thing I don't do is open up motors. There's no sense to, because warranty. And now with the motors you have is all computerized.
Anybody else got any questions?
It just looks like going through the numbers that anything that's being requested is not aligned. With, it's just a small increase from year to year. And what it looks like to me.
And I just should note again that in the salaries, we're not in final, we don't have a final number for salaries under negotiations, but I anticipate that'll come down. There'll be, we'll have an adjustment for you, but I would,
Not vote on this.
you can hold off now that John's been here and explained it if you would like.
What's the pleasure of the board?
I think you budgeted conservatively. Past this budget, it doesn't mean we're gonna spend money.
No, it gives room in case John has to make some investments
Right.
in the future.
I mean, there'd be some fuel bill.
I was just gonna say that, like,
Yeah.
maybe with the fuel, if it looks like.
We can move it into the fuel. That's fine, then I would
As soon as
vote
we
it.
get negotiations, we'll know exactly what those.
But I
numbers
would vote, if you want, you can vote it tonight. If it changes significantly, I can give you that option to revisit it.
are. No, I'm
that
just
way-
curious with the negotiations, if you wanted us to hold off.
Yeah, you're fine. Good idea, Peg and Bob.
So you're gonna vote on that number, and then I can do breakdown?
No, they're going to vote on this good number.
Right, I know,
This
but I'm saying if it goes.
Yeah.
And then it changes, I can give you the new.
Mhm.
breakdown.
Somebody like to make a motion for
I-
$1,084,645? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Will be abstaining.
Okay, the budget committee has a number of $1,084,645 for public works. So moved. Second. Any discussions?
Second.
All those in favor? Guys in favor? I can't
I
see
abstain.
a
I have
vote
to
on
abstain.
the-
Oh,
On the Zoom TV. John, are you in favor of the budget?
Can you hear you?
It's John and Tom.
Okay,
And Tom too.
and Tom, did you vote
Yes, I
affirmative?
raised, I raised my hand. Can you see me or?
I can see you, but not your hand.
There you go.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that we got a different number.
You got eight.
I'm abstained. I've got to abstain.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Wait, that's a-
801.
Oh, okay, those, yeah. 801.
What else do we want to do?
The transfer station.
Oh, the transfer station, yes, you put TS, and I was trying to
I'm sorry.
drew a blank on that.
That's in its own section, because it's its own fund.
It's on the back.
What page is that on?
It's going to be past revenue. That's this.
Oh, there it is.
That's big transfer station.
Yeah, take this too.
And we should do both the expense and revenue on this.
I see there's quite a jump, John. What was that for?
Yeah. They get the wages.
Yep.
We talking about.
Is there an increased tonnage for tipping fees and stuff like that that would increases the price?
Price were. Tonnage, we were running around 31,100. We was way down 25, 26. Taking on the prison actually pays us. We're doing about 400 tons of them. The rest of the increase, I'm hoping that what we don't go up is that getting after people. The COVID, direct contact. But the budget, actuality hasn't gone up. Closely.
The expenses have gone up.
But the revenues kept in.
The budget has, the expenditures have gone up, but the revenue is going to offset.
Right.
That's what he's trying to say.
Wait, Bob.
Nope.
Nope.
Val?
So on the tipping fees, in 2021, the actual is 272,000. And budgeted amount for the next year is 240. We're going 240, 300. How,
Well, because we're only at 139,678 now.
right, but how does 2022 compare to 2021 for volume?
Volume on the trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're running about the same, 3,000. I didn't anticipate it go up that much. I'm trying to keep it under 3,000. From up to 3,100. I still put in for 3,000. The plan on this year, we're gonna start dealing with people more. Through the trash to see for recycling and stuff like that. The past 2 years, we haven't. So that's why I figured.
It's been the COVID reaction.
Yep.
Right.
That's probably people being home, they're throwing a lot, they're more home a lot, so they're
Oh, yeah.
creating more trash.
Yeah.
Versus being at work.
And a lot of people cleaned, did a lot of cleanup jobs and everything else, which kind of surprised me. But one of them things.
On page 3 of the transfer station budget, near the bottom under other expenses, you note it per tonnage tipping fee of 77.20. It's like for the first half of the year, which is what it is.
Yep.
It goes up every year by the CPI.
Yep.
But 83 a ton for the second half of the year.
Yep.
Could you tell me about that a bit, please?
What happened, they turned around, added every quarter increases, and we just split it to. So it's done that.
Okay, and inflation has gone a
Yeah.
lot higher.
Yep.
Yeah, all right, thank you. I get what you're saying. Yeah, thanks.
Don, where are we sending trash right now?
Right now it's being landfill,
Where do I-
Northwell.
And is that a long-term prospect to keep doing that, or do we have other options? I
We,
don't know what the plan of the Hampton
right, fiber rate.
fiber is.
And they've had issues, but we're still with them. Right now, we have a 10-year option for Norwood, fiber rate, by the MRC set up for, we agreed to go with them. I'm not too worried about it, the 10 years. You know, we still have 2 years. The rumor mill is fiber rate might be getting back on track soon. The reason we went to fiber rate, it was the right thing to do, you know, as far as the recycling. That's why years ago that we went to PERT. The burning trash make electricity. Landfilling it isn't the answer. Something we have to do now, you know, until fiber rate is back online.
Are there any other options? Is Southern Maine still?
You could contract out with other ones. You're gonna pay. You know, being Waldeboro, we go for the cheapest area we can. And that's why we're here with Nordwall. You could get in down Portland Way to single stream recycling. The way we're doing it is very cost effective right now.
You have a rough figure of any of these alternatives, of what additional cost to do other
I-
options?
I can't remember, but it seems so when we looked at it, it was gonna be like a $15 to $25 a ton more. And that didn't include the transportation costs.
So overall, if we were to do that, $15 a ton, that's 3,000 tons. Plus, I don't know what the extra transportation cost might be.
Probably 30 a ton.
The truck's what, around 18 to 20 ton?
Them trucks,
Yeah. So an extra $600 a load potentially. How many loads a week do you usually do?
we send out an average of 3 to 4.
Close to $2,000 more a week, so.
Yeah, I'm sure you've looked at alternatives, but you don't see anything else that's worth considering.
No. State is trying to shut down all landfills, these towns and everything else. The only ones they want to leave open, is ones that they have this line and everything else. I can't believe this is the cost of trash. This, yeah, but the cost is a lot more than paving per ton.
Maybe that's a good PR angle for encouraging people to recycle and use less and all that.
At this time, make some of these manufacturers responsible for material they put. They did the TVs.
Colonel?
Just a quick question here on Department 940. This line is what it costs us to dispose of demo tires, TVs, mattresses, you will see an increase in the revenue for fees. Does that mean that TVs, tires is going up?
They keep going up and.
I mean, for the private citizen, it's gonna cost them more to dispose of.
It's gonna cost them more, and the reason being, it's costing us more
Sure,
to
sure.
get rid of it.
Okay.
We're gonna be going from 9 cents a pound to 12 cents a pound. The cost for loading material and everything else. That surprised you. Demo and the tires, and I had that.
What do you need to know, John?
Oh, the demo. I had the other.
Dollars a tire?
Yeah, then the tires, we took about 1,500 tires. The demo this year was 542 tons. The disposal cost on that was $31,700. Transportation fee was $38,818. Yeah, it's costing us.
What did you take in for revenue for that, though?
Took in,
We don't break it down that way.
uh,
On the revenue, it all goes into their disposal fees. Not like,
Well, I'm just wondering if,
trackable in the scale house software, but in the accounting software.
I was just curious if it was offsetting what we were paying to get rid of it.
yes, just barely.
Yeah.
Just barely. And the reason being is we have to load up containers. Our demo area is gonna be worked on hopefully this year, which will make things easier. Right now, we can only get like 6 ton in a 50-yard container, but we can't squish it. And hopefully, after our demo area is all fixed, we'll be able to get more cans.
Any luck on getting my Quonset hut up there for this, the mattresses and stuff that get soaked that we have to pay to get rid of?
Pay the weight of the water.
Huh?
Pay the weight of the water.
Yeah, that's what we're doing, and that's, I've been on to John for that for several years.
He's so close.
I just want to know if there's any word on it.
Yeah.
If there's, I know you said they had to be engineered by the state or whatever, and all that happy stuff, but I just drives me crazy that we're paying water weight to get rid of the things.
Well, as you know, we were paying $250 a ton to get rid of mattresses.
Yep.
We've come up with a different way.
Yep.
Doing it, we're putting them in with the demo, putting them inside the demo can. So it's costing us roughly $140 a ton.
Yep.
That works out.
And
well
they allow that.
right now.
You have to do anything to them, or they just go in as they come in?
No,
You have to work on them to get them?
yeah, they'll put them flat on the bottom and then after they're done filling the can. Big ones on top. And they flat. But it's a lot cheaper,
Yep.
you know.
Bob?
Yeah, John deserves a lot of credit on the demo fees because he saw this coming and you raised them to 9 cents and now you're thinking of 12 again. He's staying ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
Do you see any change in the cost to the town resident? Are you gonna keep it with recyclables?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we're not. I wasn't putting charge of that to make money. I put charge of that to run that for the people. Not there to make money, we're there to break even. So what it costs us to get rid of stuff. That's what it is. We had good years with the landfill. You know, $20 to pick up a load of shingles. Everybody around us was 100. We got a lot of shingles. And the residents saved a lot of money. But of course, we had shut that down. So now we you have to ship everything off. And that's what we're doing. And I haven't really had too many complaints. I don't have so many contractors coming in with shingles, which works out well. People are coming from other towns saying they're Waldeboro, Friendship, and Bushton residents. But so far, not much for complaints, so. And, you know, we do have an area out back, eventually, I would like to start our own composting. Also, with the brush and trees, people coming in. What I'd like to do eventually, maybe later on, coming fall, get that chipped up. Leave it there on site. If people want wood chips for their garden, you know, they come up and get them. After a while, they break down, and we can mix them in with the compost.
Did your PW crew put chips there too? For use, or would that not make sense when you do your tree work?
We do a tree work, we save the wood chips for us, because we need them side the road.
Gotcha.
Or filter,
Yeah, erosion.
erosion control, yeah.
I hate to buy it if we have it.
Do you get enough?
From us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From us chipping and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was just curious, because all us one around here is, they're always dumping it wherever somebody wants it, so if we didn't, then something to reach out.
Remember Gas Road complaints, so let's cut bushes. We haven't even cut the tree.
Yeah. Oh, great, here we go. Does anybody else got any questions? Not seeing any. Somebody,
We should do expense and revenue. I don't know if you do them at the same time.
okay. Do you want to do expense and revenue at the same time, vote on them? Or do you want to do them separately?
I think the motion to $830 for the transfer station expenses and revenues.
And revenue? Second? Second. Any more discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Will be abstaining.
Okay, we have $913,830 for transfer station expense. Motion from the budget committee.
So moved.
Billy? You want for a second? Expense. Discussion. All those in favor? You guys, Tom and John, I didn't see if you voted. Aye. Okay, both of you in favor? Sorry.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
No
So
abstaining, John.
8-0 and 1 against my math. I can't think of it, but no little ones.
What else do we want to do tonight?
If you want to go back to page 47, other financing issues.
You have to wait until the capital's done.
Oh, we have to wait till capital's done. I keep forgetting that part. I think we've done everything that we had on the agenda tonight. It might be an early night for St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
And we do need an executive session.
So we got the rec department left.
I could do the rec department unless you really want to see Marcus.
Does Marcus want to see us?
$11,000.
I don't know.
Maybe
Should he be
not.
scared? He might not want to be.
No, we gave him everything back, so we should be happy, right?
Well, there's a $10,000, almost $11,000 increase from last year, so
And that's,
I don't know if we should have an explanation or.
well, I can give you a partial explanation is that a portion of that is due to a change in health insurance. And that's also the 6 point, and that's also a 6.2 COLA.
And that's
35.
All right, is there any more discussion? Would somebody like to make a motion on that? Not trying to hurry anybody,
I
Didn't
just
seem like there
wanted
was
to
too many-
point out that I do believe he put in money for another liner, which is really a tarp, for the ice rink out in the back. So they're gonna leave the tarp liner that's there now
as a buffer.
as a buffer and then do another one. And then there was just one thing about Turfus, which is we needed Turfus for the, that's what it's called, isn't it, John? Am I right?
You're right.
I'm right, it's Turfus that keeps, yes, everything nice and soft so people don't hurt themselves when they're sliding.
Doesn't he usually work out a deal with high school? with
Working
Matt
out a
Walsh?
deal, but I believe there was an increase this year, so that's what's reflected in land maintenance. Everything that was, anything that's on here is an increase that he, we didn't have a choice with. He was prepared to come next Thursday. He would have been here Tuesday night, but he had basketball that night, and unfortunately, he went up.
Would have been here tonight too.
Right, we just thought John was gonna be much longer. But he did suffer a turned ankle the other night at basketball.
Should come here.
He should come here. I
Want to be young again.
don't know.
That's all I have.
Somebody like to make a motion of 94,263.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Everybody all good? Yes, they are. All those in favor?
Okay, we have $94,263 for the recreation budget. Thanks, Ben.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nine,
0.
0.
So next Thursday, we will be having, the Waldo Theater will be in to talk to you. Kate Fletcher will be in to talk to you from the Waldo Theater. And then we will do capital and revenues and hopefully wrap it up. And we should have some idea of where everything else is with revenue, a much better idea. We did get the revenue sharing number and that's where we're at.
So Tuesday is not a meeting.
Tuesday, there is not a meeting because there's a select board meeting and we don't like to bring you in for select board because you sit here and wait a long time.
Only an hour. We haven't had this meeting at almost an hour.
No, but last year we got a little long-winded at times, not the select board, but on purpose, but we will have to have an executive session for a personnel issue.
Bob, you got that?
I'm putting you on the spot, aren't I, for the site?
We're gonna need an executive personnel issue. No,
Yeah.
right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Sorry.
They were shooting up with that number.
Right. The budget,
The
the
budget
budget committee's
committee
gotta
can
adjourn first.
So move. Get that tattoo. You have a second? Okay. All those in favor of adjournment?
Right.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Red button.
Good night, all.
And then,
Yep.
Say
As
good
soon-
night.
Bob, do you have that for personnel?
you need-
You need it?
Executive?
Yeah, it's A. Okay, you want me to make the motion?
No, as soon as everyone,
I figured out earlier, didn't I?
well,
Matt's
coming down Sunday, or are you giving me?
Oh, I had a key for you. It's MRSA.
What are the ages now?
Bob, do you know the site?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's 14056A, one MRS.
405, yeah.
56A.
I gotta give the key to Billy. Oh, wait, hold on,
We got-
guys. I gotta turn off everything.
Yes.
Let me do that. And